What's going on, guys? Happy Mondays, good morning. Hope you had a good weekend. Hope you're all doing well. Today in this video I'm going to be covering the pre-market watch list, the list that I have. I'm going to quickly go through what I think on those stocks. So let's get to it, guys. Now, right at the top I've got the watch list, the main watch list, which is sorted by volume. First of all, I'm going to look at DIDI, and I have been watching this DIDI for a while, since a few weeks ago, and only got interested again a few days ago. As it's starting to congest around this low, at the lows here, I feel like this is due for a reversal, and it's about to break that 10. 10 level is quite strong for me. As you can see, I've got my levels and alerts there. So keep an eye on this DIDI for a possible continuation over 10. If that 10 holds, breaks and holds, that could even be a potential swing for a longer term hold. So I'm going to keep an eye on DIDI. Now just be careful, if it starts to break that 10 and starts to come back under it, there's no trade. It could be a fake breakout as well, which it's been trying to do. But it could be either of these days that it takes out the 10 and holds and continues. So that looks interesting to me. That's why I kept it slightly long biased on DIDI. Let's talk about the SPY, guys. SPY have been running overextended for the last month or so, or 2 weeks, 3 weeks. And it's only done a really short pullback. I was really expecting a better pullback, bigger pullback after this run. So I really think that SPY might have a little bit of a congested area today. It might not have a very strong sort of breakout of the highs. Even if it does, it might come back in. So we might see, although it's gapping up today, guys, it's already looking quite strong. And you know, if it wasn't this overextended, I will say that this is the second day continuation to the upside. Looks good. But to be honest, it's way overextended, and in my opinion, it might be a small day today, a range day between the highs. So we'll see. If that's the case, it's going to be difficult to look for very big rewards. So we'll have to adjust our system and setups accordingly if that's the case. Now, if it starts to take out the highs and starts to run, that's another story, guys. Right, that's SPY. We have NUZE. It's got attention on Thursday. It ran from 2s to 7.5s, and anything that runs like this and doesn't hold is a telltale sign for a fade off. So I'm thinking it's already created that first red day, and the second red continuation might come in for another fade down. So I'll keep an eye on for possible shorts news. And MRAM, again, is one of those that has run quite a bit, but with this one, the catalyst is I believe the earnings. So it's beat the earnings, that's why it's run. 8 till 11 is not huge in my opinion for earnings. Sometimes they could run like that. So I am actually looking for this in a long biased position. So if it starts to let's say hold 11s, breaks the, right now it's kind of breaking 11s, or attempting to break it pre-market. Now if that breaks and holds, that's also a sign that it wants to stay strong and take out the highs, and then maybe continue for a second day continuation. So definitely long biased on it, unless it starts to fade off and starts to take out the 10s, then yeah, that could be just a no trade on it until it comes back and takes out the 11s. So levels to watch, 10s and 11s, guys. And VUZI, I believe this has a really good daily, and I was watching this level here quite a long time ago. Quite a bit of respect on this daily level here. As you can see, level of respect every time it goes, and then gets respected. So over here it really didn't. So that means that it's broken that and tried to attempt to break and stay above it for a week or so. It didn't, but finally it broke and stay above it. So this is a clear sign that it's actually taken out the main level, and it might have a continuation coming into this name as well. So VUZI, very strong level, 15s around here. We'll keep an eye on it. If it's obviously at the moment it's trading above here, 1550s, so it's gapped up. I expect a little bit of a pullback. If it does pull back towards the highs, yesterday's highs, 15s, then that could be another good opportunity for a dip buy on these. So long biased on VUZI. TTD, I have been watching this for the last since its earnings actually, and really decent trade, very strong. Quite a lot of setups there, almost every single day apart from this day. So yeah, good to keep an eye on because it's already done its pullback and carried on with its upside move. So very strong hold position, very strong close on Friday, and still trading above that. So that's a clear sign that it is quite strong. But we'll see what happens at the open. If it starts to hold over 100, that will be a clue that it's just wants to carry on. So I want to see how it reacts at the open. But ideally, I would really like it to hold over hundreds, so I can look for a possible continuation trade. ATVI, I like the daily again. Activision is beaten down, and because of the earnings as well, it's gap down, but the gap down did not actually continue. So there's a lot of, I believe there's a lot of dip buying coming into this, a lot of big money probably putting some money in this on the dip. As you can see, gaps down, but really sort of ends up green. Second day as well ends up green, and then pulls back. This is where you would have expected to fade off if it was a really bad stock. It didn't. It actually created a nice little reversal pattern. The Friday's close is what interests me, guys, here. Compared to these, it's broken the recent highs and really closed up strong, right? Although not much of a range, but the good thing about this is it could be a nice little bounce, and it could potentially give you a much bigger reward to your risk. So keep an eye on ATVI for a possible continuation as well. BGFV. Now, most of these we talked about were long plays, guys. Most of them. And apart from, I believe, news. Yes, news was the short biased one. But now we're coming on to BGFV. I traded this on Friday. I believe started here, and then I might have added here as well, and took the trades off as it washed off here, and then final exit was here, I think. So really decent exit, really decent trade on this. And in the stream we took this, few of us took it from here, from there, and some of us might have taken from there. So yeah, we've been trading this nicely since Friday. Yes, the surprising thing about this is I really expected this to close red, right? I expected to close red around here somewhere, but it actually bounced back. This is what worries me on this one. But I'm still short biased on it, guys. Fundamentally, it's not as strong as it should be, but I'll watch the price action. I'll never have a strong bias because of the fundamentals. No, I'll watch what it does, just like I did on Friday. And if it starts to show sign of weakness, I will start trading it. So BGFV, slightly short biased. Don't have a very strong level on it apart from 45s. If it starts to take out the 45s, that could be actually continuation, another squeeze coming in. But if it holds, then I'm still short biased. FOSL, this one is an earnings gap, and it held. The problem with this hold is actually when it did gap up, it really went for it and then got rejected badly. So that's a really strange price action for a earnings gap up. But having said that, it's actually held. Friday was an inside day. Now those inside days, if those get taken out the highs, they usually provide some decent Rs. So I have kept it for that specific reason, because the gap, remember, the gap hasn't filled yet. Even though the stock showed sign of weakness after the gap, it actually held. So what I'm thinking is, if it starts to take out the Friday's high 1736.40s, then it could actually go for another run up to the upside. Now, on the flip side, guys, if it starts to take the lows, as you can see, very strong lows, 2 days bounce right to the tick on the lows here. If it starts to take 1660s, 1670s, then that could be an attempt to gap fill. In any case, guys, this could have a really good, decent R's, potentials R's on it, reward. So we'll see. The only issue with this is just really intraday bad price action. Really bad price action because of that inside day, and the volume is a little bit illiquid, is not enough for me to be really interested. That's why I didn't touch it on Friday. But if it starts to do the same thing today, I'm gonna leave it alone on the side. So that's the main watches, and then we have gaps, guys. Gaps, interesting. BTB is done really well and is overextended in my opinion. We're talking about from 120s to 3s and now trading around well, gapped up around the 5s and now fades off, right? So basically what happens is it's, I think the recent news on it is regains compliance with Nasdaq, so that's a good news for it, but not enough enough to make it go few 100% or at least 100%. So I'm watching this, but I probably might trade it on the side, guys. If you do trade these kind of low price stocks, low floats, then the trading could be slightly different towards these. So make sure you understand the risk behind it. It could be very expensive to short as well. So we'll see. I just kept it on the side just in case if it does provide some decent opportunities. It's already faded off, which is not good. For my sort of setup, I really wanted to stay up there so I can short the fade. So I'll keep it. And CREX, I believe, is an earnings gap up, and also it might not be earnings gap up actually. Earnings is in about 2-3 days time. Actually, maybe aftermarket 15th. What is today, guys? 15th, isn't it? Yeah, so today is going to be earnings aftermarket, but the news is basically is merging with another company. I don't like to trade mergers, so I'm gonna take this off, guys. That's off. GGPI, guys, it is one of the, we'll talk about GGPI, guys, in a minute. That's I believe it's Polestar. Yeah, so we'll talk about the EVs in a minute. EYPT, I don't like the gap. I don't know why it's gapped up like this. Let's have a look. Oh, okay, so it's one of their drugs trial positive results on the trial basically. So these things, to be honest, could fade off big time if there is weakness coming into it. We'll see anyways. I'll keep an eye on this. If it starts to show sign of weakness, I'm gonna be slightly short biased on it, unless it starts to run over the VWAP 20s, 21s and starts to hold. Then in that case I'll give up on my shorts on this, unless it shows another backside move. Right, AGC. AGC is gapping down. That's why I put it here. The reason why I did put it there is because it's I'm a bit short biased on it. If it starts to pop towards 1640s, then I'll look to short this thing, because I feel like it's overextended. A retracement, a pullback is due on it, so that when it does come, that day, red day comes, it could be a massive R that it could provide. It tried to do that Friday, by the way. Really nice setups, really good R's, but the problem is, again, just like BGFV, this thing reclaimed and didn't end up strongly red. So that's the only thing that worries me. If it was weak, if there was a lot of conviction to the short size, it should have ended up under VWAP, under 16s. So it didn't. That's why I'll be a little bit careful shorting it, but I'm still short biased on it. All right, AGC. Now, with the main watch list covered, we've got a lot of watches on the EV sector, and we've got quite a few on the earnings and also cannabis sector, right? I'm just gonna make it short, guys. On the EVs, any of these are quite interesting, right? Look at GGPI, Polestar is 12, so it's gapped up basically. And look at the Friday's close, very strong. It's gapping up. The continuation might come into this. Although it looks a bit overextended, it really isn't. It's from 11 to the $2 move, that is. So a continuation, long biased a little bit on GGPI, RIVN. Just as I'm going to be trading it on the side, guys, can be very, very choppy, as you can see. So if you don't know what you're doing, don't trade it at all. EVGO's overextended and is gapping down now. All right, so it's your typical overextended gap down scenario where it's kind of showing sign of weakness early on before the open. So I'm gonna see what it does, guys. EVGO seems like a short play after the open. Your Teslas, Neos, if you're gonna trade these guys, just do your own sort of setups, follow your own rules, and just keep an eye on them because they have been running. They've been really sort of overextended as well. So today we might see some sort of a pullback, as you saw on EVGO. It's already looking like it wants to do that. So I'll keep an eye on that. However, having said that, XP EV, and most of them, to be honest, looks like a pullback might be due on these. Apart from the only one I will say that that has a bit of a strength coming in is GGPI, okay, Polestar, and the rest basically potential short fade opportunities might come in. So that's your EV watch list. Earnings, we've got Roblox. I have been trading this since Friday. I still have some left on it, guys. I took a trade on it over 100, and on the pre-market, on Thursday's pre-market watch list video, I did mention that. Sorry, on Fridays I did mention over 100 is your trade long biased. Over 100, if it starts to hold, then it just continued giving me multiple exits. I think I took exit somewhere here, 104s and then 105s, I believe. Yeah, so now I've got like 20% left on it for a possible runner. It's already looking like a nice little gapper, but it's coming back and filling that gap already. But I don't really I'm not really worried about it because I only have like 20%, maybe even less than that, which is going to be trail stopped under VWAP as it opens. I want to see how it reacts. I want to give it a little bit more room so I can catch another move up. And if it starts to take out that 110, which in the pre-market it did, then that's even better. I'm gonna have that 20% left for a possible good runner for a few days. So Roblox could bring in some more potential buyers as it starts to break that 110, which I already did, but it fades off now. So 110 will be quite a strong area to keep an eye on. If it starts to break above it and holds, then that could be another potential long opportunity. MRAM, again, earnings play, a very strong close around from 8s to 11s, and it starts to hold. Okay, so it's holding nicely. 11 is a great area to watch. If it starts to creep back above 11s, that could be a potential long opportunity there for a second day continuation. And TTD has been giving us a really decent plays, guys. Today, so for Friday, it broke up the recent highs and it's held. So we did talk about TTD earlier here on the main watch. And then AC ACM is it's an earnings gap up, not much of a gap, but it's just no volume at all. But if it starts to bring in more volume, and if that gap holds, then there could be some potential plays on it in the next coming days. FOSL, I did talk about it, guys, and the rest, we've got our cannabis sector. Now, cannabis plays could be popping now, guys. As you can see, you know, I remember these days when it was really sort of going crazy. We're talking from, you know, 8s to all the way to 70s, right? And that was just crazy times. But I'm not saying that could come back, but what I'm saying is it's actually showing signs of a little bit of a pop. As you can see, it's starting to break that very strong level and starting to hold over it. For me, it looks quite strong. There might be some continuation coming into this, right? So I'm a bit long biased on the cannabis stocks. Most of them looks really decent on the daily. All right, especially SNDL could be a better opportunity compared to others. Big, nice gap, nice moves, clean moves for a stock that is trading at 90 cents, right? As you can see, most of them are gapping up and just continuing with that momentum to the upside, right? So yeah, cannabis sector, a bit of a long biased thought on it, and the rest we talked about, guys. So that's pretty much it for the video, guys. Hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the live stream at 9:15 EST. Be prepared. Let's do this, guys. Cheers.